So the thing is that young entrepreneurs, when we're new in the business and we're new in the entrepreneurship world, we want everything fast. We get in something, we see money, we see dollars, we see the future, and we want it really quick. And then the problem is that right when we realize it's hard, so many of us stop and we start looking for the next best thing. We had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young, we were broke, we didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm all by myself today. And Ronnie actually is sick to the point where wouldn't be able to get on here and bring the energy like she wants to. So this is the very first episode without her. And I want to talk to you guys about something called finishing. I have conversations every day with teammates and just people in general that are trying to make it in business, and they're young in entrepreneurship. When I say young in entrepreneurship, I don't necessarily mean an age. Some of them are in their 50s, but they're new to business. They don't have a family history of business. They don't have a family history of entrepreneurship. They may be the first person in their family who's trying to make something big happen for themselves, being self-employed or building a company. And then I also had a conversation with someone who has a very long track record of being self-employed and has made a lot of money, made millions of dollars in a year at one point. And they're both in a really bad space. So you have new entrepreneurs that are trying to build businesses and they're frustrated and they're pissed off and they're discouraged and all these things. And then you have people who have a lot of history in entrepreneurship, and maybe they just didn't do well with their money, and now the market's turned and crashed, and they just don't have any money to show for it. And so my point is I was trying to figure out, what do all these people have in common? And I'll tell you what I think a lot of it is there's a track record in everybody's life that's different. So if you look at some people, they come into business and they just kill it from day one. They do so well. And then you look at other people that come into business and they struggle. And then they struggle and they struggle. And then you start doing things like sitting with their friends, sitting with their family, calling and asking for referrals, asking if people would help them with training, asking if people would, give them a meeting, all these different things, no matter what industry you're in. And you find that some people have a ton of credibility. And then other people don't. Some people we call 10 people and 10 answer and 9 of them set up appointments. Others we call 25 and 6 answer and we get 2 appointments. And so you start to go like, what's the difference? What's the difference? Obviously, everyone's different. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own past. Everyone has their own history. But is there a common denominator between people that make it really big consistently, almost without a doubt, they're going to make it, and then people that they just don't, and the people around them don't necessarily believe in them, and the people that know them the most don't necessarily believe in them and wouldn't make a bet on them, wouldn't make an investment on them. And I'll tell you what I found. Winners have the ability to finish. And what I mean is that people who start in something and then they see it through from A to Z, all the way from start to finish. There's no stopping, looking around, taking a tour, looking for other options. They're not entertaining other conversations. They know how to start something with a decision. And decision at the root of the word means to cut off all other options. And so someone's starting something with every intention of finishing the job, meaning that I'm not trying it out. I'm not seeing if I'm good at it. I'm not going to see if it's for me. Like the whole is it for me thing, I think is bullshit. Anything that you decide is for you is going to be for you. That's a decision. That's a I'm going into this with every intention of making this work no matter what. If I had to write a check for $150,000 to start this thing off, then I'm going to make sure it works. I'm not going to try it out. If I'm cutting a check for $2 million for my franchise, I'm going to make sure it works. There's no trying it out to see if it's for me. I cut a check already. Money is on the line. This is for me. And so people who win have the ability to finish. Now, weak-minded people, let me tell you what they do. They start something. They're fired up. They see dollar signs. They see freedom. They see the future. They see the dream. And then they get into it, and it starts to get hard. And when it starts to get hard, what do? Well, they start to doubt if it's for them. And then they start looking around, and someone slides in their DMs and goes, hey man, can you keep your options open? And now they start entertaining other conversations. Someone from the same industry hits them. Hey, have you looked at our comp plan? We have a better comp plan, blah, 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 blah. And they're entertaining conversations. Why? Because it's easier to, instead of stick to this thing that's hard that I'm halfway through, it's easier to look for the next best thing. That's the young entrepreneur's biggest mistake. They look for the next best thing. They, instead of going, hey, what do I need to change? What do I need to learn? What do I need to grow in? During this time, this chapter of my business where things are hard and I'm getting frustrated, instead of owning it, fixing it, improving on it, and seeing it through from A to Z, they start looking elsewhere. It's easier to look elsewhere, right? It's easier to go, oh, I got a better company now, I'm going to do better. Oh, I got a better coach now, I'm going to do better. Oh, I got a better opportunity. Oh, a better product, I'm going to do better. The reality is they're not going to do better, because whether it's better or not is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that they have to take them to the next thing. And they are the problem, right? And so young entrepreneurs, they go to the next best thing. Then they start that and they get halfway through it. Then it gets hard and they see the next best thing. Oh, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do this now instead. And they start that. They get halfway through it and it gets hard. And then they see the next best thing. And you have these people that spend their entire life with a pattern of never finishing anything they start. Then they come to us in business. And we go, oh man, this person doesn't have any credibility. Here's one of the things. People who fail consistently because they don't finish the job. They don't finish the job. And now all your friends know that you're the hopper. Like in church, we call them church hoppers. They go from church to church to church to church. In business, they're business hoppers. They go from business to business to business to business. From self-development, Tony Robbins event to Tony Robbins event to Grant Cardone event to Tony Robbins event to self-development event. But they never actually progress. And if they do, it's really slow and it's not consistent and it's never what they really want. People want the dream, and the dream is big. But nothing big comes from being half done, right? No one in history celebrated anybody who did half of anything. Half of a marathon when you were supposed to do a whole marathon. Half of a diet when you were supposed to do the full diet. People that half-ass everything never finish the job. And when you don't finish the job, you have a couple of things that are true. Number one, you lack self-confidence because you don't even believe you're going to get it done, because no one knows you better than you, and you know all the things you've quit before. Number two, you lack self-discipline, right? Because self-discipline means I require myself to finish something. And I'm going to keep me accountable. Like I'm my own boss and I'm a damn good boss, right? You lack self-discipline because you never do that. Number three, you lack mental toughness because every time something gets hard, you quit. And you've never finished anything that was hard. And you always run away from things when they get hard. So you have no mental toughness. So you have no confidence, no mental toughness, no discipline. And then you expect to do well in business. You can't. Nothing great was easy. Everything great had things in it that were hard. The difference is at the end, the people that win are the people that finish anyways. They win anyway. They get the job done no matter what. They get the job done whether it's hard, whether it's easy, whether it's fast, whether it takes a long time. They have every intention of getting the job done, even if it's a failing job. Because there's so much learning in failing. There's so much learning in the growth process. And we rob ourselves of all the growth and all the learning and the skill sets and the character required to finish something, because every time we got to a point where that character was going to be built, we quit and we find the next best thing. And here's what I want to tell you as we finish up. If you don't learn how to finish, even the little things, like you start 75 hard, you never finish. You start a diet, you say you're going to lose 30 pounds, you never finish. you start going to the gym Monday through Friday, and then you never do that consistently for 12 months to a year, 12 months to 18 months to 2 years. There's just like this never ending, we just don't finish anything, big or small, right? And if you don't learn how to finish, then you don't stand a chance. You do not stand a chance. You could be the most talented person, and you will be outbeaten by someone less talented who has a mental fortitude to finish every single time. And so your ability to finish will be the deciding factor of whether you make it big in anything. And when I look at the people who I'm talking to who don't have credibility, they don't believe in themselves, so much of that is tied to the fact that if they pulled up a list and I said, give me 25 things that you started that you finished, they couldn't do it. Let's look at your job history. Let's look at every business you were a part of before. When did you leave? I wasn't making money. So that's why you left? Because you weren't making money? Because someone's there making money. So if you weren't making money, like what you quit too soon. There's this constant quit too soon. And I hope, and my encouragement to you is that you do not make it a habit of quitting too soon, but rather you could list out all the things in 5-10 years that you finished. You finished your promotion runs. You finished getting this new license. You finished this new business plan. Like, you always complete the job before you move on to another one. All right, you guys. Thanks for the shares and support, and we look forward to seeing you soon. We're out.